Hi everyone, can you hear me out there? Can I be heard? Can someone let me know if they can hear me? I want to check. I can see a picture obviously on the screen, but I don't know about sound. Excellent, Lisa. Thank you very much for letting me know. Nice of you to join me from the US of A. As you know, I changed the start times of my live stream to 8 p.m. because, like yourself, before it was a little early. Anyway, this is what I came to talk about, really. And most of you probably know what this is. This is, I just use it in normal terms. This is the mooring T-bar that goes on the bow of my boat that was welded to the bow of my boat for mooring up with. And a couple of weeks ago now, it happened when I was moored up at the top of Lapworth Locks, just before, not the lift, they don't call them lift bridges up there, what do they call them? Drawbridge, on a dead straight piece of canal. The boat's moored the other side, boat's moored this side, one boat a little way in front of me, couple behind me. It's quite early in the morning, so this boat has obviously come up the canal quite early, if they've come up the locks or moored just by the locks, I don't know. And I'm in the bathroom at the time, and a huge bang on my boat, which obviously when you're in the bathroom already, certainly helped things along. So anyway, by the time I got out of the bathroom and outside, I could see a boat disappearing in the distance. Never thought too much about it. Well, someone's hit me. Not nice, but what can you do? And I'd actually seen them from going out on the back deck. So I hadn't actually gone out onto the front deck and realised there was any damage. It wasn't until about 20 minutes later, I was cooking some breakfast, toast. And I thought, why is my boat not against the towpath anymore? And it's drifted right across the canal. Odd. So I walk out the front deck. Ropes are still attached to this, but no longer attached to the boat. So they'd hit me that hard to snap the weld off. Never stopped, of course. And I do have quite a large dent also now in the front of the boat and a lot of paint missing. Too late to try and chase them up the canal. It's half an hour later, and I'm not going to run all the way up the canal in the temperatures we've had just lately. So anyway, that was just what I was standing on to make it a little higher. That out of the way. And we'll move this out of the way now. You know what it's all about. So anyway, now I've got to try and get it welded back on. So I don't know if there's anyone watching or listening that knows anybody as a welder that is on my current route. I'm currently around Warwick at the moment, and I'm heading towards Braunston and up to Long Buckby, where I'm going to meet my parents for lunch in about 2 weeks' time on a Sunday. So I need to try and get it fixed. I have stopped at a boat yard and they were too busy, couldn't do it, or they didn't want to do it. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to buy an angle grinder, get it all ground up, ready, cleaned up, and the boat cleaned up, ready to go. No, there's no damage by the water. Sorry, my glasses are all dirty. I'm trying to read what everybody's putting here. Sorry, Lisa. Oh, Kyle. Let's see who we got. Anyway, let's see if who we have. We have Lisa, of course. Jose, Harvey Holmes. Oh, Turtle. Um, Narrowboat Girl. Hello, Narrowboat Girl. Nice to see you. And who we have? Oh, Kyle. Kyle is also from the US of A. He is in Illinois. An old drinking buddy of mine, to say the least. Yeah, so give Calcut boats a ring. That's a good idea, Sue. I never thought about Calcut boats. If I find a screw fix Sasha, that's a good idea. Hi, Robert. Yeah, I just want to do this, but I should. I'm not worried that it does cost more than £1. Not if I got more than £1 to spend on it, but I will keep it because I intend to do some work on the boat next year, like painting it. So I'm pretty sure it'll come in useful for the rust. That lovely stuff we all like on boats called rust. But there is obviously a few rust patches on her. She is 34 years old. Half my age nearly, though. Oh, don't have any rust. Yeah, Calcut boats. I'm gonna make a note of that right now, so excuse me, guys. Right, just write that down. I have a piece of paper. Look. They're on the way. I haven't been down this way of the canals for such a long time. I forget whom is where. Thanks, David. I don't sure if I do it easily, but I do it. Um, I just come down Hatton Flight, and anybody that knows Hatton Flight on the system, 21 locks, one after the other, and I actually came down with another single-handed boater, a lady boater, in her 70s, and we single-handed down there, and we got down in I think about 5.5 hours in 90-degree weather. It was 33 degrees Celsius, which is what 91, 92. Maths on top of my head, though, something up that area. So it was warm. We both got to the bottom of the locks, and we came up the last lock. Okay, Lisa's rusty already. We came out the last lock, and I looked at her name's Pauline, and I looked at Pauline and said, "I think I feel how you look." And she looked at me and goes, "I feel like how I look." so, so we came round the corner and basically moored up, and we had enough for one day. But yeah, so things to do on the boat. Fix that, of course. Hi, Susan. Changing pace. That was a good go. We just did the Wolverhampton 21 in 4.5 hours. So, thank you very much. Yeah, I think we did quite well. They're double locks and they're heavy, but we got into quite a good routine coming down them. I would, Pauline would go off to the next lock, set the next lock, and get the gates open, and I'd bring the boats out and take them to the next lock, basically. Or got the gates anyway ready, and she'd probably come back and take her own boat down. But we had it working well, and it's nice when you work with another boater that knows what they're doing. Neither of us had to say anything to the other. I would just say, or she would say, "I'm off to the next lock. Okay, bye." And things happen. I'm getting Sasha disease here. Yeah. So I must put my glasses. Yes, yeah, I'm on the Grand Union as well, David. I'm actually at Warwick, and anyone wants to know, I'm actually at Warwick, but I won't be here for much longer. I was here for 2 days, and I'm leaving tomorrow morning. Yeah, get a system going. I knew you'd get a comment there from me, Sasha. Well, I guess you can do that and just run off, Rob. And they must have saw it come adrift. They must have known it was broken off because, believe it or not, they must have actually reversed back up to get off the boat. They actually hit the boat on the towpath side of, where the boat's pointy. They actually hit it. If this was the towpath side, they actually hit it on this side of the front fender. So yeah, I'm not quite sure how they managed to do that. Well done, barking mad. Get rid of those silly houses. Get a boat. Well, my opinion is I would always go for a narrowboat. I know the wide beams are great for space, but it depends what you want to do. If you want to cruise all of the canals, you need a narrowboat. Unfortunately, there's a huge chunk right in the middle, which is all single narrow locks. So you can either cruise to southern England or you cruise northern England, but you can't do the bit in the middle. And you can't get from the south to the north to cruise. So I would definitely think about a narrow boat if you want to do a lot of cruising. If you just want to sit somewhere in a marina, buy a wide beam for space. Yes, Lisa, you'd need the QE2. Yeah, I'm not quite sure about your scent burners on my boat. I don't no, I squeeze through the gap, but they're probably wider than me. And yeah, pointy end, yes, Sasha, that's right, the pointy end. I always call it the pointy end. I know it's the bow. I like calling it the pointy end. You got the pointy end and the blunt end. I know. That's why I had to say, but I was doing this. I had to mention it, Sasha. I was doing a Sasha on my channel. You definitely like waving your arms around. I think you talk with your hands and not with your mouth sometimes, that's the way you feel you are. See, giant breeze on a narrowboat, Lisa. Although I can't see Lisa being on a narrowboat in Big Hurry, seeing she lives in America, in Indiana, America. Um, there are a couple of canals in America, a couple of disused ones, of course, the Illinois Michigan Canal. But there's the Erie Canal, and there's another canal which runs somewhere else. Big canals, big boats. Well, you say that, Bob, about but if you get a boat like this boat, it's an old boat, it's 60 foot long, and it weighs just short of 20 tons. I can assure you, there's not much bobbing about going on. In fact, you have a job to actually make it move. Yes, they do. I've forgotten about that. Lisa in New York. Yeah, yeah. There's on the waterways there. Yeah, yeah. Although there's probably a little bit hard on a lot of the boats because you're gonna have, as I believe it's all salt water there, isn't it? Even the rivers are going to be brackish because they're tidal. So anyway, not just this that I want to talk about, of course. And of course, if anyone wants to help me get this repaired or pay for it to get it repaired, I do now have super chats and stickers and become what is it? Become not a subscriber, via Patreon, of course. I can't even think what it's called now. I'm so useless at this, aren't I? A member. I have members now. You can become a member of my channel where you get to see extra things. uh, well, we've been at it a little bit longer, Lisa. Perhaps that's why. I think that though in America, most people wouldn't like the narrowboats that much because they're too slow. You know, I know people that want to do 100 miles an hour down the river in their bass boats. So sorry about this, guys. I've got to get that gin and tonic down somehow. Oh, okay, it's water again. I knew I'd need a sip. It's rather warm here. I'm good, Claire. Thank you very much for asking. Besides having a bit of a broken boat, well, a bit that can be repaired anyway. But yes, so what was I going to say? Yeah, I don't know where anyone else is around in the UK at the moment, but just before I came live, we had a thunderstorm run through here. So I had all the doors open. Yeah, it's not vodka, Sasha. I do have vodka on the boat, but it's not vodka. Yeah, it's good old H2O. Did have a beer earlier, mind you. I walked down the pub and had a beer earlier. Well, I do have a portable barbecue. I have one of those disposable barbecues actually, and I still haven't used it. Every time I seem to moor up, there's sort of a narrow towpath and nowhere to use one. Because I always look for somewhere sensible to moor. I'd have to put pins in the ground if I can. So I'm always looking for Armco or rings or bollards to moor against. And yes, Claire, the broken pointy end. Uh, yes, David, that was quite a good one to do during lockdown. Trying to think of something that might be a little bit interesting and walk the hedgerows, and it's amazing the edible plants. Now I've known about all these edible plants for a long, long time. I was brought up a country boy, you know. I was brought up in a little country village called Wallington in Hampshire, and the locals, you know, the older locals knew everything, every trick in the trade, what you could eat. They've been through 2 wars, most of them, so I guess you know, you learn what you can eat from the hedgerow. And I still like to do it occasionally. Funny enough, today I was eating from the hedgerow. I picked some blackberries and I picked some plums. Now, people think, odd plums? You also quite often get apples along the towpaths. Years ago, probably even before I was born, the boaters, because when they were horse drawn, used to plant fruit trees by the locks quite deliberately. So when they got to the locks, so the horses really didn't get annoyed and want to wander off and all that. They'd have apples and things for the horses to eat. So that's why quite often you'll find apple trees or whatever growing around locks. I have heard people commenting them before on YouTube, and they go, "Oh, someone must have thrown an apple down and the pip landed there or something." That's not true. Actually, if we try and grow an apple tree from a pip, you won't probably end up with an apple tree. All apple trees are grafted, like most fruit trees are. Wellington Fareham. I know Fareham. Oh, Fanet. I know Fanet as well, of course. If we meant I haven't, but there is a Fanet, isn't there? No, Fanet's London, isn't it? Yeah, Fanet's near London. Haven't is down near the coast, I believe, isn't it? Haven't near Southampton. Yeah, I sort of know some useless information, Lisa. I don't know why. I just sort of pick it up. So little Billy liked the fruits as well, Sasha, did she? Yeah, it's amazing what I picked this year. I picked some plums today. I probably ate too many. Um, Lots of blackberries. I've actually got a bowl full of blackberries in the fridge, which I might be making blackberry jam with. Oh, it's Kent. Sorry, Claire. I'm getting all screwed up with my geography these days. That's what happens when you get old. I know all the South Coast as well because I used to fish from all the South Coast. Oh dear. But yes, fruits from the towpaths are unbelievable. And the nice thing about them is, of course, because where they're growing along the towpath, you almost 99.9% guarantee that they're organic. Who's going to put pesticides or herbicides on blackberries grown wild along a towpath? Okay, if they're next to a farmer's field, something might come over, but you're pretty good they're not. Yeah, cooking videos, it's just too hot at the moment, Lisa. I I really don't want to do any cooking videos until it gets cold. Actually, there's one thing I really wanted to ask people tonight was what sort of videos they'd like to see. I know a lot of people have asked for cooking videos to come back, and they will. I think they will replace the off the cut series wintertime, or at least mix it up with them. It depends on the weather. Um, if it's snowing, I will definitely be doing cooking videos. Yeah, actually, Carl, it's quite easy. The canals are normally, most of the canals are wide enough for two boats. If they're not, there's normally a passing place. And whomever was closest to that passing place will normally stop, especially if they see another boat coming. You'll be ready and stop and wait in that passing place. Um, as for the locks, if the lock is set in your favour, by that I mean if I'm going downhill on the locks and the lock is already full of water, even if the other boat got there first, it would be my lock. Reason being is wasting water. The average amount of water in the and the locks I've just come down is 56,000 gallons. 1,000 gallons, a million gallons. It's lots anyway. Lots of water in those locks. So if the lock's already in your favour, you have right of way basically. Although some people say, "Oh, I could have emptied that lock and got back through before you get anywhere near it." Well, it doesn't matter if they could or they couldn't. They should be waiting not to waste that water because you might as well have a boat coming down in a lock full of water, which of course, once the boat's in the lock as well, there's actually less water coming down because obviously the boat displaces its own weight in water. And if there's two boats in the lock, it's twice the amount. So it saves water that way. So the boat really coming up to a lock, if it's set in their favour, has right of way. But you do get a few people think that they don't. I can't give you a fire lighting video. Um, I don't have one. So yeah, Fenny Lock. Oh, that's yeah, that's I'm going that way. Well, will be somewhere. Huh, yeah, it's funny, isn't it? I am Mark. I am Mark. I'm keeping well. No, 60-foot lock, 60-foot boat would take me to most of the UK. A 70-foot lock would take you to 90% of the UK, really. 60 foot, there are a couple of locks, a couple of little canals that you can't go down. But to be honest with you, they're short arms, and unless you're like a minimalist that want to do every canal in the UK, um, I wouldn't have a problem. And actually, Um, I know you can get a 60-foot boat through some 58-foot locks. You go down on the middle level, what's called the middle level in the ditches. There's a couple of locks down there which are only 58-foot long, but they're double width. So if you go in one boat at a time, you can go on at an angle and you can actually lock through them. but most of them, also the shorter ones, are on the tidal section. So you just wait till the lock keeper opens up both ends of the lock and you just drive straight through. So you can get through some narrower places. There's only one. There is one canal, and I can't remember the name of it now. It's up north somewhere. I think it's Sasha might know because I think it's in the Manchester area where it only has 40 foot or 42 foot long locks. So that's pretty short, and most boats, Sasha of course, could go through it. Hey, yeah, because we could do a joint fire lighting video, Sasha. That would be a good one, wouldn't it? Do you reckon we could do it live? Hmm, a live fire lighting video. Can do that. I'm quite good at starting fires, by the way. My mum was only telling me a couple of days ago was talking about that I'm talking about getting a fire for the boat anyway, and she had said, "Well, you'll have no problem lighting it. You was always lighting bonfires at the bottom of the garden when you was 4 years old." Can you imagine a 4-year-old kid these days being allowed out making bonfires at the bottom of the garden? Yeah, that was the Kingfisher video. Um, I wish it was a little bit better quality. There's a lot of shaking on it. 54 foot, is it, Sasha? Thank you. I knew it was short. I the I didn't want to go outside the boat and disturb the Kingfisher, because I was using the telephoto lens. I was using a 300 millimeter lens, and it was on almost full zoom to get the closer up shots of the Kingfisher. Every time you just literally, and I didn't even realize, and you don't really feel this boat move at all. Sasha's been on it; she'll tell you it's pretty stable. And even just standing behind the camera, if I moved 1 foot, and it was just doing a little shaky vibration, and I didn't realize until I played it back on a bigger screen. I actually even realized it was doing that. Oh, there, Ruben. Yeah, a pot of water on the boat. It could be a sauna today. If you'd have put a big pot of water on top of the boat and a hose pipe coming off of it, it would have been a beautiful shower, probably. So Huddersfield Way, is it? Oh, thank you, Sasha. I knew there was one which is but it's not very long lock, is it? I'm not very long canal, I don't think. It's only about half a mile long. If I did see about it once sometime a long time ago. Well, thank you, Mark. There was well over an hour of video, and I cut it down, whatever it was, 13 minutes. So I cut out most of the bad, shaky bits. But yeah, I felt, you feel when something like that happens to you? It's just the most amazing feeling ever watching a kingfisher for an hour, just darting back. Yeah, I think it was all of that in my boat today, Sasha, as well, because I went for a walk. I went to the post office to pick up my prescription, and it's a mile or so away from where I'm moored, which I don't have a problem walking, 1.2 miles or whatever it was each way. When I got back to the boat, of course, all the doors were shut. I did leave the windows open, but yeah, I had a job to walk through the door. It was so hot, it almost knocked you over. I was gone for, I don't know. Well, I stopped at the pub on the way back as well and had a beer, so I was gone for a couple of hours. So it did have definitely lots of time to warm up. Yeah, that I still feel so privileged to see a kingfisher at that distance. Um, it's just, I've seen over. I'm 61 years old, and probably in my lifetime, I've seen a dozen kingfishers, if that. One was when I was really, really small, and we used to live at Wallington, and the River Diva used to run along the bottom of the where we lived. And I was down there, used to make dens, as a kid down by the river, and I saw a kingfisher then, and Of course, as an 8-year-old kid, you don't really realise what spectacular thing you're seeing. Although I can remember still seeing it, so obviously it made some impact on me. And then since then, I've seen the odd one here and there flying around, but it's normally gone, gone. Never a chance to get them on. As my mum keeps saying to me, she said, "Have you seen any kingfishers yet?" I said, "Oh yeah, I've seen a few." She said, "Well, where's the pictures?" I said, "You'll never get a picture of a kingfisher, mum. They're always going 100 miles an hour in the opposite direction. You never see them." But that was just amazing when that happened. Just sat there with the camera, stood behind the camera, um, changing the shots occasionally a little bit because he did move perches a few times. So I'd change the camera angle and the shot through the window. But I don't know if people that know narrowboats know that most of these windows we have on narrowboats, the top ones lift out. So what I'd done was I'd taken the tripod and put across the kitchen sink because it was dead opposite the kitchen sink rather than here where I am now in the dinette area. So I took the took the tripod there and I put the camera so the camera lens was actually pointing out of the window to try and get the light better on the because so it wasn't thinking that had the light from inside the boat when it was actually the light from outside the boat. I wanted it to concentrate on to give a better picture. And yeah, that was really special that day. Yes, and I even caught him catching a fish. I actually did see him catch two fish. The first one I did it in slow motion. It came down. I didn't have the camera set quite right, and he did actually catch a fish on that one as well. You didn't actually see it because all you saw was the kingfisher come in. And if you look at it really, really carefully, you can just about see a tiny beak and a tiny fish in its beak as he flies away. But the second one, when I caught it, when I actually caught the fish, absolutely, well, that was something really special to me. Absolutely special. I still get goosebumps thinking about it now, how special that was. Yeah, actually, funny you should say that, David. Actually, That's a place where I've seen a couple of kingfishers as well. Um, I know the Britannia very, very well in Northampton. There used to be a boat moored there called Maybe, which belonged to a good friend of mine, Norman Bishop, and that's where I started all my boating career off from. When going boating, we went up there one weekend for a fishing trip. Norman said, let's come up and we'll go fishing." Well, Norman didn't fish, but the idea was, of course, get a couple of guys up there on the boat. We went for a little cruise down the Nen and ended up all weekend, I think, in the Britannia, probably. Yeah, you're right. It's gin clear there normally, unless it's been raining. Uh, and then it can get. The only problem with the Britannia, I was actually moored there one day, and fortunately, we were on the boat when it flooded, when the whole island flooded there, because the Britannia is actually on an island, and they didn't. They had a problem with the. Well, no, they close the gates, don't they, to and goes into the floodplain, which also floods the Britannia out there. Yeah, that was we were moored underneath. If you know the Britannia, you know there's a gas pipe which goes over the top there. There's a pipe bridge, and we were moored underneath the pipe bridge, and water come up so high that we were dragging against the pipe bridge, and it was pushing us under. And we had to all stand on the back of the boat, just chucking it down with rain at 2 o'clock in the morning, and try and jump up and down on the back of the boat to get to go down a bit so we can pop it out underneath the pipe bridge. Because otherwise, I think we would have sunk. Yeah, you like our canals, don't you, Lisa? If I've missed any comments, please I don't mean to. I'm just not the fastest of reading sometimes, and my eyesight's not that brilliant. I've even got my glasses on. Please just type them in again, and I will try and get them the second time round. I don't miss you out on purpose. I can assure you. I really do want to answer everybody's comments. There is something special about the UK canals. I've been on a canal in France. Went uh, a long time ago, and it's not the same. They look the same, but it's not the same. Well, Lisa, now you're asking. Google Warwick, where I am at the moment, and that might answer your question. Warwick Castle. I'll give you the answer. Warwick Castle will be it's going to be another off the cut, which is not a village, because I know all my uh, American friends love the castles, and I can't really not go to Warwick Castle and film it. And I believe it is actually open, although I'm not quite sure I want to pay the £15 or £18 or whatever it is to go in. I should probably just film it from the outside. I have been in it before, you see, so it's I don't. Then you walk around. Half of it you can't see anyway when you go inside. You do see a lot of the old paintings and things that are in there, but I really don't think it's worth the entrance fee. Although if you've never been before, it probably is. But yeah, I, I, I'm going there tomorrow morning to film it actually. So that's what tomorrow morning's job is. I'm moving the boat about half a mile closer, and I shall walk to Warwick Castle. Hopefully, it's not 100 degrees in the shade tomorrow. Well, it wasn't the day I know, but it was over 90. Yeah, there's a lot of little villages around. I've gone straight past some which I'd like to have stopped at, but I've been sort of. I'm not quite sure what. Yeah, it depends on where it is. There's a couple of different ones. There's the National Trust, which you can join, and it's a yearly subscription. And there's another one. I can't remember what that one is now. But I don't know. I can't remember if it's National Trust here or not, or private. But I don't see enough and go to enough to really warrant paying whatever it is, the £100 a year, or whatever it is, £80 a year to actually go and visit them. I might only see two a year, so I just go around the outside and film. Normally, it's free access to the outside, so it's perhaps one day if I get lots of money from doing YouTube videos, I'll I'll buy the passes. There's going to be something else to film. But at the moment, most of my money goes on food, so so that's where most of it goes to, and water. Yeah, there is another. There's a small village coming up tomorrow on Wednesday's video, and it's I think it's quite amusing. I'll give you the garden's great, Lisa. I cooked. I just typical me. I decided this morning when it wasn't so stifling hot to start, I'd make a chicken and vegetable curry today. So I went outside and I picked some herbs. I put some fresh herbs in it, and the coriander which had gone to seed. I took some of the coriander seeds off and actually used fresh coriander seeds also from the garden. Cumin, some cumin seeds, and other stuff which I had here, fenugreek and what else? So one of my own dried chilies, which I brought from the US from me, which I grew wasn't even last year, a year before, which I dried. It was rather a hot one. I forgot how hot some of those were. It was half a dried chili went in there, and salt, pepper, of course, garlic, ginger, all the regular things which go into a chili, turmeric. I don't know what else. some allspice. I always put allspice in mine, and that's all. Of course, all goes straight into the coffee grinder. Grinds it all. Spice grinder. I have a spice grinder. Grind it all down and went in the curry. Well, it was a bit on the warm side, and I had some curry just before coming live tonight, and whoo, it was. And I still have 3/4 of it left in the fridge. Hmm, curry tomorrow. I don't know, when it's a hot day and you eat something that's hot, I think it's probably actually easier. What we got? So yes, Claire, you can pay so much, but I don't know if it's worth it at the moment. I might. It depends on next year. I might get into that because I have been past a few places. Well, of course, at the moment, of course, well, until recently, nearly all of them have been closed. When I was at Tamworth Castle a few weeks ago, it was still closed. Slows, you should see the slows growing along the towpath where I am now. Yeah, they do seem to warm up, don't they, after a couple of days in the fridge, Lisa? Oh well, I'll still eat it. I can eat hot curry. Yes, slows. I am going to be going to Tesco's tomorrow, do some shopping. 'Cause there's a Tesco's not very far from here. I'll take the boat a bit closer to go there, and that's where I should walk to Warwick Castle from. And I might just pick up a bottle of cheap gin when I'm in there. I really do fancy making some slow gin. They look like a tiny little black plum. They actually, by the end of September, if there's any left on the tree or the bushes, they will actually go quite sweet, and they actually are edible. At this time of the year, if you put one in your mouth and go, "Ooh, tart or what?" So you know what slows are now, Lisa. It's a fruit flavored gin. And it's one of the very few fruit. It's one of the very few fruit flavored drinks I actually like. Um, and I do like slow gin. Is that all? 14. Oh, in that case, I might even look at getting one if it's £14 a year. I thought it was a lot more than that. I really thought it was. I thought it was a fortune for some reason. Why did somebody tell me the other week? Because I was on about it the other week to another boater, and they said, "Oh, it's about 100 quid a year. It's a waste of time." I'm thinking, well, 100 quid a year, yeah, I'd have to see about 20 places to make it worthwhile, and I'm probably not going to do that, especially if really the part of the year which is left, and not all of the places are open yet anyway. Slows for gin, yeah. Actually, slow jam is really good as well. It just takes quite a lot of sugar to actually make it edible, but the pectin in slows, it sets very, very easily. And actually, an old favourite, my grandmother, when she used to make plum jam, because she had a lot of plum trees in the garden, she used to send me out to pick slows so that she could add some slows to it to make it set quicker. Yeah, slows are, well, they grow on every towpath I've ever been on. You'll see them all over the place. And there's some along here which you would think were plums. I actually picked one today and bit into it to check that it was a sloe. The bush looked like a sloe bush, but I thought, is it some type of plum? Because the leaves are quite similar. And I bit into it, and yeah, it was a sloe. They were huge. I imagine sloes are normally sort of, I don't know, half an inch long. These must have been a good inch. They taste very much like a very sour plum, Lisa. They belong to the same family, I believe. I believe they belong to the plum family. They have a pip inside, just like the plum does. Yeah, castle with no wine. Mm. Yeah, slows. I could walk out. Well, not right now because especially that way because that's the canal side. The towpath's that side. I could walk down the towpath. There's none actually along this bit. There's blackberries here, but there's a bridge about 50 feet, no, a bit more than that, 50 yards from me. And just the other side of that bridge, there's a bit of an embankment there, and there's sloe trees all the way along it until you get to the lock. Then they're all loaded. 72 a year. Okay. That sounds more like it. Yeah. And in it, 72 a year, I'm still not sure if that's worth it for me for this year. There's so many places not open. If they can't keep the social distancing inside, they're just not opened. I do hear that um, I don't know about passing a lot, but there are some within walking distance anyway. And I haven't really looked for that many, so probably an awful lot more than I actually realise. I know there's definitely a few around. I know what I'm not sure if Warwick Castle is National Trust or not. It probably is. Um, I'm trying to think of the name of that big hall up near. There's a few around which I know are National Trust. I know the Narrowboat Experience. The girls they went to a couple. They go to National Trust sites and film sometimes because they have National Trust passes. So there's some perhaps for next year getting the National Trust pass. This year, I think it's the year's basically gone, and it's not the sort of place you really want to visit in the middle of winter because I like to walk around the grounds. The grounds fascinate. Sorry, the grounds fascinate me. I like to walk around the vegetable plots and the fruit trees and all that and see what they got growing. And I know some of these National Trust sites in the summertime, they actually sell the produce as well from the gardens, and it's a great way of getting some fantastic fresh produce. That's the one, Shrubborough Hall. See, I knew somebody would be watching besides me. I just terrible with names. I remember a lot of them being free back in the day. Winchester Castle, when I was a kid, was free, but I'm pretty sure it's not anymore. We all know exactly what you mean, Brian. I'm not sure that's spelt right or not because I wouldn't know how to spell it correctly anyway myself. So, or was it shoot? It's spelled Shootborough or something. Isn't it? Pronounced Shrubborough. Can't remember now. But the how you would read that is how it's pronounced. I know that it's Shrubborough. No, I haven't been on any canals in Scotland, and I will never probably go on any canals in Scotland. A couple of reasons there. They don't connect to the UK. They don't connect to England, rather. They're in the UK, of course. They don't connect to England, so you can't actually take your boat there directly. And if I happen to have my pay to have my boat taken out and put in the canal in Scotland, I can't actually move it unless I have somebody on board with me. They have a strict policy in Scotland that there must be more than one person on board. I'm not sure that's just for cruising, or definitely is for going through locks for safety reasons, of course. So yeah, so that's not probably going to happen. I can't take my boat there. I'm probably not going to do it. I've seen, by the way, I have seen some of the canals in Scotland. Not that I haven't been on them, but I have been there and seen them. I've been by car years ago. I have been to Scotland there 2 or 3 times. Vacation. There you're being American on me, Lisa. We go on holiday. By Merlin. Yeah. bit of a wizardry place to go, is it? I'm only 1 year up, Lisa. I knew exactly what you meant. Remember, I did live in America for 15 years, and if Kyle's still watching, Kyle will know what vacation means, and he also would know what holiday means because Kyle was a great friend of mine, as I said before, and he knows just about every English saying there is. If I missed anyone's questions, if I have, please shout out. I'll try and find them. I've got the scrolly thing here. I can go up and down them and look. My eyesight, as I say, is not the best in the world, and I can miss things sometimes. Ah, Kyle is there. Look, he needs a holiday now. Well, Kyle, you you did say that perhaps one day you'll come and visit me on my boat. So that is still an open invitation. Obviously, at the moment, it's hard to do this year, and I'm not sure what's going to happen for next year. But there's still definitely an open invitation. If you ever want to come and visit me on my boat, you're more than welcome. Well, I might have to make sure I got some beer in the fridge by then. Yeah, the way things are at the moment, it's just I don't know if anyone will. I know some people from the UK that have been gone went on holiday to Spain and they've now come back and they have to do 2 weeks quarantine when they come back into the UK. There's a it's still I don't know what the temperature is in this boat at the moment, but it's hot still. Yeah, it's I I'm not quite sure about that at the moment, Lisa. There are flights going around the world, but I'm not quite sure. It, yeah, it's not just a curry. It's I'm dripping. uh, Actually, I didn't know quite what to do with the lighting tonight because I knew it's just starting to get dark outside now. You know, the lights are starting to draw in here now in the UK. A few weeks ago, it was light at 11 o'clock at night, and now it's getting dark by 9 o'clock at night. Um, but I've got a couple of, I'll probably blind you here a bit. I got a couple of these lights which I've sat up in the window. I've got them shining across. First of all, I put them the other side of the screen and facing towards me, and I realised that was going to blind me and drive me nuts. So I put one either side of me, but I think the lighting's working fairly well from it. Thank you, Lisa. I have an uncle went to Australia for 3 weeks holiday in March. He's still there. Yeah, I actually have. There's I have a subscriber on YouTube that comments to me quite regular, and he's in Bali at the moment, I believe, and can't get back. He actually has a boat moored up on the Oxford Canal, and he's can't wait to get back to go boating. But I believe he's still in Bali. There's actually people called Merlin attractions as their route, and I didn't realise that. I thought you were saying Merlin the Wizard. I, it's weird because I either I'm sorry if I'm looking over there all the time trying to read your comments, but if I bring the laptop too close, I can't seem to get the lighting right, and then I have to lean forward to read the comments and stick this thing back on. Yeah, what I was going to ask people is, I might, I was thinking about doing some sort of poll if I can of what people would like. I was going to come up with a few ideas and see what people would like for new videos. Uh, I will always do the cruising videos. They will always be part of it. That was part of me. That's part of what I want for my sort of own benefit as well, to remind me what I've done and been to. The cooking ones I enjoy doing, but in this heat, I just in a narrowboat, it's just a killer. Just trying to throw something quickly to cook, like the curry I did today. I put it on and left it to cook itself for a bit, so I didn't have to sit with the heat all the time. But so I'm quite happy to bring back some cooking videos. There's probably going to be end of September, October, depending on when it starts to cool off enough. So I don't feel like I'm cooking myself as well as the food. Um, I was thinking of a few other things. The off the cut series, whether I extend that, and because it looks like I wanted to keep it just the villages. The idea was originally it was going to be small villages, ones I didn't know, ones perhaps nobody knows anything about. And I go for a little walk around the village, camera in hand. It's not. But I have my GoPro sitting there. It's not. And I normally use the GoPro for a lot of filming. Number one, it's got a good steady shot on it, and it's light and easy to carry. And if I'm going, I want to take all the cameras with me and try and get some a bit different. You're weighted down, and I need a backpack, and it's just awkward and a bit. This time of the year, a bit hot. But so yeah, I'm thinking about extending just the villages to places of interest rather than just villages, like Warwick Castle, like well, I don't know if people were so interested in Birmingham when I did a little one in Birmingham, but I wanted to show how nice it is now in the middle of Birmingham, and not to feel frightened to go there. Okay, leading up to the way we came in on the Faisley Canal, Ruben will tell you, Ruben's still there, I'm pretty sure, that coming in up the Birmingham Faisley Canal, coming through Farmers Locks, especially the first early ones, it was a little scary. You're not quite sure where to take people when they're loitering around the locks and drinking hard cider, strong cider and that sort of thing out of cans, and strong beers out of cans. And they obviously had a few to drink. You don't want to say the wrong thing to annoy them, but you don't want to totally ignore them so they get upset that way. So it's a hard one, what to do. But yeah, once we're out of there, and once you get up to I think there's about 3 or 4 locks to go, and you got a lot of new housing buildings going up there, flats or whatever it is, apartment buildings, and it was actually quite nice. And when we went round, and of course, I believe that is the only roundabout. Oh, that's in the video. But then you go around what I believe is the only roundabout on the canal system. I don't know of another one. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'm sorry about that. And you actually come round into which becomes when you go through the lock. Well, it's the old stop lock there. You actually go on to the Worcester and Birmingham Canal, where Gas Street Basin is, and it's all these lovely new restaurants, bars that have been done up, pubs that have been done up, new build. I'm not quite sure about the Cube. It's all new, of course, and I imagine it's very expensive, and they look like some top dining restaurants there. I thought it was a pretty ugly building myself, but perhaps it's just me. I'm not into that modern architecture so much. Give me an old castle any day. Oh, thank you, Claire. I'm glad you like seeing the different places. And what I shall still do is I will put out some, the cruising video on Saturday. I'm trying to. I see what I do this week. By the way, I've got a lot of video. And today I got up this morning. It was so hot, I really just didn't feel like doing it, which I should have been doing really rather than going off for walks. But I did have to go and get my medicine as well, so I didn't have to stop at the pub on the way back. Um, but I did only have one beer, two beers. Um, yeah, the off the cut ones I quite enjoy doing. Number one, it gets my legs walking and moving good because sometimes just standing on the back of the boat all day, your legs actually start to ache by the end of the day, and it's nice just to get off the boat and go for a walk. Oh, okay. Okay, so it's Merling. That's probably way more expensive than the National Trust places. I think Warwick. Not sure what Warwick Castle is. I'll do a quick Google here. Warwick Castle entrance fee. From £20 to go into Warwick Castle. So they don't actually give you the actual price that it is per person. It says from £20 in groups from £18 each. So yeah, I probably won't be going inside the castle tomorrow. There's £20 I really don't want to spend on just walking around the castle I've been to before. Okay, Lisa. Yes, wind us up, Claire. Going for a dip in the sea. Very nice. Yes, nice wind up. Mind you, I've got the if I go and moor up where I'm going to moor up by the aqueduct, that's the River Avon there, and I think you can walk down the aqueduct. I think I've done it before down there. I might have to go for a little dip in the River Avon. I know somebody who would go for a dip in the River Avon if they were here. They probably went for a dip in the river, which I can't remember the name of, near where they are. But I probably shouldn't say the name of the river because it might give people an idea of where she is. Hey, Sasha. Yes, you. You'd go for a dip in the river, uh, drop of a hat, Sasha. I know you would. Mind you, I must admit, I think I'd prefer to go for a dip in the river than I would the canal. I used to go swimming in rivers a lot when I was a kid, so that's what I used to do. I say a kid into my teenage years. There's a couple of canals which go to Manchester. Actually, Sasha would be the expert on canals which go through Manchester. Uh, there's is it the actually goes through Manchester? There's the Macclesfield, isn't it, Sasha? Um, trying to think of all the canals which go through Mass. Trying to think of all the canals which go through to Manchester. The Bridgewater is very close. Well, I guess it is Manchester. It goes right past the Trafford Centre. Uh, Huddersfield, is it? Peak Forest, Rochdale. That's the one I was trying to think of. Rochdale Canal. Yeah, there's a few go through Manchester. What's the press building there? I don't even know, I'm afraid. Yes, I did a rewatch. I wasn't winding up. I can swim the sea, and I do have to walk the end of my street, so it's a bit funny. No, yeah, mm, jealous. I haven't actually seen the sea now, and well, besides flying over the top of it when I flew back from the US, I went to the ocean to Maine, well, Massachusetts and Maine, up through that area, and that would have been probably about 12 years ago, 13 years ago. And that's the last time I actually went to the sea. I probably have to treat myself and actually jump on a train and go to the sea soon. Bolton and Barry. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I did, that's a one I didn't even thought about. Hello, Debbie. Welcome on. Gee whiz, have been going over an hour already. How's you put up with listening to me for over an hour, you guys? Still trying to make connections across the pond. Uh, well, there's obviously you connect with me. um, there's places around Manchester. I really don't know Manchester very well. As I say, Sasha knows Manchester very well. She was living there for a long time, or some time anyway. I just don't know Manchester. Well, I started off with this, Debbie, and how it got broken off my boat, which, yeah, was a bit of a story. But basically, I got hit by another boat and it got smashed off, and I've got to get it repaired, and that's what the video was all about tonight. Yeah, Sasha's more. Talk to Sasha there, Lisa. You can chat between yourselves in my chat. I don't care people talking between themselves in the chat. It's that's what chat's for, is the chat. Yeah, I'm okay, Debbie. Bit of a fright at the time. Well, I didn't even know it was broken, to be honest with you, at the time. Um, when you get your boat hit that hard and you're in the bathroom at the time, if I say no more to that, and you come out and you see a boat disappearing in the distance, and you think, oh, well, that was obviously the boat that hit me, but you don't realise at the time what damage they've done because I came out of the boat, the back end of the boat, the stern of the boat, onto the back deck, and seeing the boat disappearing. And it wasn't until about 20 minutes later when I was cooking breakfast, my boat was swinging across the canal, and I wondered why. And I walk out to the front deck and find that's broken, still with the ropes attached, fortunately, so I didn't lose it. I do have some pictures of the damage. Yes, it's it fortunately, because this is a old strong boat, there's more scratches than in a little dent. But yeah, I got a broken pointy end. Thanks, Debbie. Yeah, I was asking people for ideas of where to stop in the direction I'm heading, and I've been given, of course, for some stupid reason I never informed them. And it's, anyone would think I'd never been on this canal before. Mind you, it is 20 odd years ago, so perhaps my brain's. Yeah, it's been 90 degrees here for the last few days, so I came down the Hatton Locks 2 days ago, and by the time I got to the bottom of them, I was ready to drop. And I put on so much factor 50. I started off with factor 50 sun cream, and then I ran out of that, so I put on factor 30, and I must have dolloped it on about 10 times on whenever it was. What was that? Saturday? Yeah, Saturday. I can't. Days of the week when you're on the boat are meaningless. Yeah, but this is the wrong type for fixing the screw ones. He had the one. He's got the ones with the holes in where the screw fit in. This is a weld-on type, which goes actually right at the front of the boat, just in the middle. His type of ones which you can add to the side on the gunwales. Yeah, I actually saw the video. I watched them. I watched a lot of the YouTubers out there. I don't say I've seen every single episode of everybody's, but I don't miss many. Normally, if I miss them, it's because I go a week or so and I can't get internet on the boat or something like that. A few places which are a bit poor for internet connection. I'm moored here at the moment in Warwick, and pretty good internet. When last time I was moored in a big town, I had terrible internet. So it's odd, you just don't know. Obviously, it's good enough internet to stream from. I use my phone. That's all I have for internet is the phone. So everything I do is from the phone. So I stream from the phone. Well, this is actually the laptop you're seeing me on now. Although I did get some new software this week. It was a free download where you can. I'm using YouTube Studio for doing the streaming at the moment, and this software allows you to plug different cameras into your laptop and do different views, and it segregates different people out and lists all your numbers of people, different viewers you've got, and all that sort of thing, and how many different viewers you had watch, and it's quite good. But I chickened out from using it today. I want to do a practice live stream with it before I use it because there was so many buttons here and there and everywhere, and I'm thinking I know what's going to happen. I'm going to be live streaming. I think I'm clicking to look at something, and I'm going to zap everybody off. So I need to look into it a bit more. But I've only looked at it for a few minutes, so I need to go through it a bit more. I think that will probably give a better. It means I can actually use a real camera rather than just the webcam to actually film with. And if I use a real camera, I have microphones on my cameras, so I'll probably give better sound as well. Although I don't think the laptop sound is terrible as far as I know. And I know the camera, I see probably what you see. It's not a bad image for a webcam. Although I've got it turned, I've got it set at 720, just standard HD, because I was a bit worried when I'm streaming. I'm always a bit worried on getting enough data down the line. So I do stream at 720, although this is a 2K camera. Oh dear, sorry, I'm missing everybody's notes here. Yeah, I can do that, Sasha. I can post some pictures. I'll probably have to dig. They're on my camera, so I haven't even downloaded them from the camera yet. So the only one I've got, I took one of this yesterday to put on for the thumbnail, and that's the only one I downloaded. Actually, I think they're on here actually. Yeah, they're on there. That's a terabyte SD card there. So they're on that one there. So I do have them to hand, so I can download them. Lisa and Glenn and what? Oh, so you Lisa and Glenn, okay. Yeah, A Life Full of Meaning. I watched Life Full of Meaning. They they make me laugh. Well, I am myself at this moment in time in Warwick. I'm heading to Longbuckby to be by Longbuckby by the 23rd of this month, whatever month we're in, August, is it? Yeah, 23rd of August. I'm meeting my parents for lunch in the New Inn there on Sunday the 23rd. So I've got, what's that, 13 days left to get there, or 12 really, I guess, 11, get there before they do. So that is a lot of traveling for me in those days. I normally wouldn't do half that distance in 11 days. No, it's not undoable. I got 20 lots left to go down the Grand Union Canal to get to Braunston, to get to the Napton there. I think it's 20 down to Napton from here. 2 here. And there's a 10 at Stockton, isn't there? I think there's like 8 in between. Yeah, I think that's or something like that anyway. I think it's 20 locks. And then I got the 6 locks at Braunston to go up through the Braunston Tunnel and get to Long Buckby. I won't be going down the Long Buckby flight. I will be more on up at the top near the New Inn. So I've got 26 locks to do in nearly 2 weeks. Oh, I guess it's not too bad. I should probably, in a day, get down to Stockton Locks, sit at the top of Stockton Locks for a day, probably picking up courage to go down. No, I'll be just waiting for another boat to come along, just like I did on Hatton Flights when I met Pauline who came along. She's another single-handed boater, and we came down Hatton Flight together, and we did that in 6.5 hours, I think it was, or something like that. 5.5 hours, 5 and 3/4, whatever it was. I can't remember now. I did have it written down on a piece of paper to remind me of. I did say it earlier. I don't know what I've done with a piece of paper. But yeah, which I think we did well. The 2 of us, 2 single-handed boaters, but we both knew what we were doing. So still the hardest thing to do are lift bridges or swing bridges. I can manage the locks on my own, but lift bridges and swing bridges are a nightmare. Especially the couple I did. Well, they call them what do they call them up on North Stratford? They call them drawbridges. They're lift bridges, and you've literally got less than my table width here, like 2 foot, with one little mooring pin right before the lock and one after the lock. So I actually had to work out a system to get through those. Never got lost where I never got it to work correctly and gave up. Well, I'm not sure what you were trying to get to work correctly. I missed a comment here, Sasha. It disappeared. Yeah, so what was I talking about? So yeah, so I found out a way to go through them. There's a good reason for that, Brian. Boats always had right of way back in the day, and the bridges were left up, and there was a chain or something that ran underneath the water that if you wanted to go across the bridge, you had to put down with. So boaters always had right of way. They were always left open, and the reason they were on the offside and not on the towpath side was so the horse and the tow rope would have free access and wouldn't get in the way. Oh, the streaming software. Oh, okay. Sorry, I was. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got off track there, Sasha, didn't I? So it's a bit. If you can't suss it out, I've got no chance, have I? I know that's your field rather than mine. Um, but yeah, so that's why it was always on the offside the operation, because back in the day it allowed the horses just to walk straight by, no problem at all. Didn't have to untie them and hook them back on, and it allowed then whoever wanted to cross the bridge had to lower them to go through. Yes, Debbie, I will be doing more cooking videos, but it won't be until it cools down. they take such a long time to do, some of those cooking videos. You don't know how many takes I've done on some of them. That's not true. Most of them are well, actually, one actually I ended up by doing 3 takes on, and I had to do the whole thing 3 times. It wasn't because there was anything wrong with it, all the others. It was because I had problems with the camera software. Sorry, just a mosquito. I've got the windows open. Um, and the I think when I had the cameras positioned so close to the cooker or the stove or whichever country you're in, they overheated, and the SD cards wouldn't play back. Yes, so Brian, yeah. So that's anyway. So what makes it a nightmare for me? But I have worked out a way of going through lift bridges and all. What I do is I take the center rope to the front of the boat, and I take the back rope, the stern rope, to the center of the boat. And when I get to the bridge, I get off at the front of the boat onto the little little mooring mushroom there or whatever. Put the front rope, the center rope around it to hold it because I have a long enough center rope to reach. And then I lift up the bridge. I then get the boat moving with the center rope, and as it comes underneath the bridge, I then catch hold of the stern rope, which I have laying on top of the roof of the boat on the same side, obviously. So I can pick up the stern rope, and then I can carry on pulling the boat through from the stern rope. Then once the boat's through, I can attach that rope to the mooring mushroom and put the bridge back down, and then climb back onto my boat. Yes, bow hauling. Yes, no other way to do it on your own, really, unless you want to jump off and on the boat and run up and down the roof of the boat, and it's just quicker to pull it through. I even pull the boat in and out of locks sometimes. It's just quicker, especially on some of the ladders, especially on the ones that just done at Hatton Flights. There was a couple of lock ladders I went to climb down, and well, I have size 13 feet, and there's literally that much space behind the rungs of the ladder for your foot. I couldn't even get my toes to latch over. It was literally halfway across my toes and there was absolutely no way I could walk down those ladders. Thank you very much, Claire. That's very, very kind of you. Thank you very much. You are the first person ever to give a donation on Super Chat. Thank you very much. That's absolutely brilliant of you. And that will definitely go towards fixing my pointy end. Yeah, so oh sorry, Lisa, I didn't see you going. Yes, you be safe too, Lisa. I hope you caught that. Yes. And I will do another live chat somewhere because I know a lot of you like the live chats. Yeah, that's true, Brian. I have been through that lot before, but not on my boat on my own. But you're right, there's no lock ladder there. And some of the lock ladders are a waste of time anyway. They're more like fireman's poles or just 2 rungs coming down because you can't get they have replaced some of them on the Hatton Flights, and the ones they replaced, I can get a decent. They're that deep. They're sort of that deep, so I can actually get my foot on them quite safely. But when they're wet and slippery, and I've only got literally the point of my toes on them, it's just too dangerous for me. Um, no, that's a good point. I think there's a button somewhere which says Super Chat. Golden caster sugar, gin, and sloes. You've been looking up the recipe. Yeah, I believe there's somewhere. You see a different screen to I see. I think somewhere on there it says super chats. Could be wrong. or super stickers. I think there's super stickers and super chats. Oh, there we go. It's a dollar sign next to a smiley face right at the bottom. Right at the bottom, is it? See, mine's at the top. To show mine at the top up here. Thank you very much, Debbie. That's very kind of you. Oh, this is definitely all going towards getting my pointy end fixed. Very kind people. Absolutely brilliant. Very kind. Damson gin, yes. We used to have a damson tree, and when I lived at Bullington, we had a damson tree. Damsons are actually beautiful when they ripen. They're a bit like sloes early on. They're very sharp, but when they go ripe, they're so sweet and delicious. Yeah, it's well, thank you very much. I appreciate, I really do appreciate everything there. Thank you guys. Yeah, so yeah, damsons. Actually, I'm just wondering if the tree I saw earlier wasn't sloes, it could have been damsons. That's why they were so big. That's a possibility. Yes, it's going to get welded, and as soon as I find someone that can weld it, really. I did actually stop it off at a boatyard a couple of days ago when I was up on. Where was I then? I was just before I came off of the North Stratford. And I spoke to somebody there, and they said, "Oh, we can do it for you, but it'll be probably next week somewhere, and give us a couple of weeks, and we should be able to get it done if you want to wait around." Well, I didn't obviously I want someone just to go done, you know. So actually, I thought since if I actually get an angle grinder, I'm going to grind it off flat, get off all the the old weld here around the outside, and I'll clean up where it goes onto on the front of the boat with the angle grinder. So it's all done. So all I got to do is sit on there and run the weld around. I did learn welding when I was at school, but you wouldn't want to see my welding, and I wouldn't trust myself with the welding that on. It would probably fall off the first time I put a rope around it. I don't have a welder anyway. I would probably be better off putting on super glue than me welding it. Well, it was lovely for you to join us, Debbie. I really appreciate it. And everybody stay safe. You know, this is what we all have to do, aren't we? Yeah, I might be able to pick one up for 50 quid, but then I got to store it on the boat, and I really just don't trust myself welding. I wouldn't want to put my life into it, and to be honest with you, when you're pulling your boat in, and the lady that I came down the locks with 2 days ago, Pauline, she cracked her head open last night or yesterday morning actually. There was another boat, and she was trying to help this other boat to moor up, and she pulled on the rope, and the rope was attached to the armco, and the armco wasn't attached properly to the side of the canal. And when she leant back on it to try and pull it in tight for them, she went over backwards, and it went over backwards in their front well of their boat and cracked the skull open right here. And she's been at the hospital and had it all glued up and everything. So yeah, scary stuff. Boats can be scary stuff. So anything I have to wait, and I put all my weight on this sometimes when I'm pulling the boat in. You know, I've got a rope around there, and I'm literally, and you're leaning back. And if it was to go because of my bad welding, it could kill me if I land on concrete. You know, hopefully it'll just be stinging nettles, and I cry like a baby, like I always do when I get stung. Yeah, I prefer to pay some of the. I'm not sure what they'll charge me to do it, but I prefer to pay somebody to actually do it that knows what they're doing. Debbie has left the building. Bye, Debbie. So, thank you everybody as well. Anyway, thank you, Debbie, for your donation. That's absolutely fantastic. Yes, so Calcutt boats. I shall give them a ring tomorrow because there will be 2 or 3 days before I get to Calcutt boats. so I can always yeah. So I'm not in that area at the moment, but if I get that way, I shall definitely do a visit. Uh, I try and visit places of interest as I come along. Occasionally, I have missed a couple of places I really wanted to go to, and it wasn't because of any other reason that I made plans to be somewhere else. So it's a bit difficult sometimes when you've already made a plan to be somewhere else to stop or I'm meeting somebody or something like that, and I realised and too late. Hello, Dean. Hi, Dean. Welcome aboard. I've been talking tonight, Dean, about my broken T-bar in the front of my boat and having to get it welded back on. Where a boat hit me so hard that actually the rope didn't break. The T-bar broke off of the weld. So talking about getting that fixed. Good evening, Lewis. Everybody's joining. Gee whiz, I've been here for an hour and a half. I'm still getting people joining me. Wow, this is incredible. I didn't realize this would go on for an hour and a half tonight. I thought, probably a Monday night, nobody'd be watching. 10 minutes, I'll be gone. Thank you. Trying to keep going, Oh, I forgot to mention, that butcher I found in Newbold, he turned up again. This time he turned up at the top of Hatton Locks. He's not very good at doing haircuts, but oh well, it's free. And Tanya, wow, good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Oh, heat? What's heat? I got a perfectly air-conditioned boat. I wish. It has been stifling. Today, I locked up the boat for about 2 hours and went off. Well, I walked to the post office, and then on the way back, I did stop and have a couple of beers. By the time I got back to the boat, because the front doors were closed and the back doors were closed, I opened up the front doors, and like on a car, when you open the car door up, it's been sat in the sun for a few hours, and you open up the car door and it nearly knocks you over backwards. That's how my boat was today. I've no idea how hot it is in here because guess what? I don't have a temperature gauge in my boat. But the phone said it was on my phone. It said it was 31 degrees earlier. So and I only looked at it once, so I don't know. It changed from that. I've got hotter or cooler. I don't even know what it is now. I've got all the windows open in the boat. I've got the front doors open and the back doors open, and it's still sticky and hot in here. Yes, Dean. I I am being careful. The last word you used in your dialogue there, it came up. Should I show it or not? Because obviously it's up being a swear word, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that word, and I am one as well, of course. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I haven't been anywhere to find any beer yet, Lewis. To be honest with you, I haven't bought a beer. Well, Brian, wow, what can I say? How generous! How generous, Brian. Well, thank you very much. I'm pretty sure with all the donations I've got now tonight, it's going to pay to get my boat fixed, and that is so brilliantly, absolutely brilliantly. I thank you all so much. All what that's done here. Move the cursor of my mouse, and so it went weird. I've got it back. Yes, it's definitely going to get welded, and it will be welded. I'm going to give Carl Cut boats tomorrow. I couldn't think of any boat yards down the canal I was going down until I got Someone's told me earlier, and I could not think of any where I was going. And I was thinking, well, I know when I get to Braunston, there's a boatyard at Braunston, the Braunston boats. And I know they do welding there. So I thought, well, I can get it done there if I have to wait. I've actually at the moment I'm moored up in 3 points. The back mooring is normal, and I'm using the center rope side to the center. On I have three chains, and I have three nappy pins. So and then I've got from the rail. I've got one from the front and one to the middle. So the boat's sitting quite steady. It's not as if it's dangerous or anything, and it's holding up. So, but I was definitely going to get it fixed now. Definitely, it's absolutely brilliant. Thank you guys. Really appreciate all your help. So yeah, so Canal Cut Boats. Look their phone number up when I come off of the live chat, and I shall be giving them a call in the morning and seeing if I can make an appointment for coming in. I can send them a picture if they need to see what it is to get done as well, of course, because I do have pictures. Oh, we got there missing people out here, haven't I? 33 in Colchester. Yeah, yeah. I haven't, as I say, Lewis, I haven't been to anywhere that sells beer recently. Well, not a place where you expect to find something like Man's Brown. There's a little co-op store I went to yesterday. I walked to, and since I left, well, I haven't really been in a big store for weeks. Tamworth was the last place I was in a big store. Paisley just had a small Tesco's Express, and if they had lager or Guinness, basically. So of course I went for the Guinness. Well, they did have Doom Bar in there. I did get some Doom Bar in there. Where else have I been? Fortunately, then from Paisley, shopping has been very, very sparse. I haven't been moored close to shops for a long time. I'm moored up at the top of Hatton Flight, just where I say at the top, about a quarter of a mile or so short of the Hatton Flight. And the nearest shop from there is like 2.2 miles away. I just didn't feel like walking that. I don't mind. I have no problems walking the 4.5 miles there and back. It's carrying shopping back, and especially beer that's not exactly light. And so I haven't been anywhere to buy beer. I'm still drinking. If Ruben's still there, I'm still drinking the beer Ruben bought me when he visited my boat, and it's getting very low now. So hence I stopped off in the Cape of Good Hope today and had a couple of beers in there on my way back from the post office. And they had a local beer in there from a Church Street, I think it's called, brewery. Very good it was too. Although I did have a cider first because I was so hot, which was a small brewery cider and a small cidery cider. It wasn't one of the major ones. Yeah, if that had happened, Lewis, I'd have been really upset that it had come off. No, I got hit by a boat, and there it was. My boat moored up just north of the Lapworth locks, just before the last lift bridge there, or whatever they call them. I've forgotten what they call them again now. I wrote it down there. Drawbridge. And I moored up at that drawbridge, and I was moored there, and it was early in the morning. I would imagine it's before 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm normally up about 6:30, and I normally take my tablets and then normally go to the bathroom. And I was in the bathroom when a boat hit me, and you can imagine it made going to the bathroom very easy, shall we say? And I time I got out of the bathroom and ran outside, I went out onto the back deck because I knew that it hit the front, so I knew there's obviously going the other way. So I went out the back deck see what was going on. They were disappearing up around the corner, and I thought, well, they've hit me. I'm not running up the canal because they've hit me. It wasn't until about 20 minutes or so later I started making some breakfast, and I realised my boat has swung across the canal. So I went out onto the front deck and realised that was no longer attached or welded to my boat. And there's quite a dent. Well, I say quite a dent. It's more paint removal than a big dent in the front of the boat. And they hit it on the towpath side of the V of the boat. So how they managed to hit me there, I've absolutely no idea. The canal is, there are boats moored to the other side, so the gap between my boats and the boats moored to the other side, but there's boats moored front and back of me as well. There's still a good room for a good two and a half narrowboats to get through. So there's no reason. There was no wind, so they can't blame the wind. It was dead still, and went crashing into me, and that was the outcome. Yeah, the pointy bit. See, everybody likes to be saying the pointy bit, don't they? Yes, I drank a beer on the way back, Cecil, from going to the post office. The Cape of Good Hope is about 100 yards that away. You can get home deliveries to your boat if you just can get a delivery slot. And actually, I tried to do that a few weeks ago when we were in lockdown to start off with, before I actually moved the boat to nearer to a supermarket. And none of the supermarkets were taking on new customers. I tried Sainsbury's, Tesco's, Morrison's. There's another one as well. Asda, I think it might have been. And not one of them were taking on new customers at the time. So that was a no-go for me. And I haven't tried since. But I know people do. Wow, Dean. That is hot. At least you have the drier heat in Arizona. But that's a killer heat. That's spoiling your blood temperatures. And I mean that literally. You can't stay out in that sort of heat for long because it's just not good for you. You know, we hit the 90s again for the last few days here, and the 90s are hot enough for me, I can assure you. I'd much prefer the 70s, to be honest with you. Oh, in that case, I could probably get my parents to do it, but my mum would probably get it wrong, and it'd probably end up in the wrong canal. Because my mum has had Tesco's delivered to her ever since lockdown started. She's not been out shopping at all. Actually, that's not quite true. She actually called me today, and my mum said that because they had to go to the doctors, they actually went shopping today for the first time in 3 months. She said they were in and out quick. But I know just down around the corner from where I am moored right now, it's about I don't know, half a mile, three-quarters of a mile, two locks down. I go through the Cape locks, and there's down a little straight bit, and on the right-hand side down there's a Tesco's, and the Tesco's is literally a stone's throw from the canal. So I shall go there, and I shall restock the refrigerator and the cupboards, because when I was moored up at the top of Hatton Locks, I just went through all my food I had, besides the stuff I don't particularly eat very often. I keep it on the boat for emergencies like pasta. I'm not a pasta person. I do have spaghetti, and I do have noodle on the boat, and I have some canned food on the boat. And I really try never to eat canned food. But they're there. Yes, there are a lot of people on the canals again at the moment. Of course, the schools have just broken up as well. Yeah. and I'm very close here on the Grand Union Canal here. Literally just down the two locks here is Cape Boats, and then there's Black Prince have a boatyard down there, I believe, as well. Then Cape Boats have another boatyard down there. And then down at the end of this strait, or down where it becomes the Napton Junction, you have Napton boats as well. So there's boats coming up here, and Alvechurch boats coming from the other way. There's boats everywhere along here at the moment, hire boats. Most of them are okay. It's just a few of them seem to be complete idiots. I don't know quite what happened there. My computer just flashed up and says, "Oh, I know what it is." I'll be right back. I've been on so long that my laptop's going flat. I'll go and turn on my inverter. Right, inverter's turned on. Didn't realise I was down to 10% power on my laptop. The battery on my laptop was a bit iffy. It was my fault back in the winter months. It was a bit cold one morning, and I turned the laptop on to charge, and of course, it was below 5 degrees Celsius at the time. And lithium-ion batteries do not like charging under 5 degrees Celsius. Oh, meds are actually quite easy. I just went and picked up mine today. Uh, I with a company called Pharmacy to You. I ordered with them. They ask the doctor for the prescription. They get the prescription and they send them to me wherever I ask them to send them. And this week was the post office up over here near Warwick. It's on the opposite side of the canal to Warwick, and I can't remember the name of the little town now, but it's basically Warwick. And I just walked to the post office and picked them up. I get an email telling me when they ship. I get an email telling me when they've been delivered. I have the tracking number, so I can always know. I always know when I'm going to get them. Wow, 2 grand now to hire a narrowboat. That's ridiculous. They're trying to triple charge people for all the weeks they haven't had boats out. They must all be out as well. Yeah, mine don't need keeping in the fridge. I take blood pressure tablets and thyroid tablet, then they don't need refrigeration. Um, they do them actually refrigerated ones from there, and they do send them on a special courier refrigerated because it does ask you if you have any meds that require refrigeration, but you have to get them delivered somewhere where you can actually sign for them. So it has to be somewhere. Refrigerated ones, you have to sign for them that you've received them and they're still good or whatever, I believe. From Pharmacy to You. But I use Pharmacy to You, and they work fine for me. So I carry on using them. They always email me telling me it's time to order your meds, so I just go online. They're all sat in there in the Pharmacy to You website. I just pick the ones I need, which is all of them, of course, because I always need all of them. And I go in and put I first of all Google and find out the post office near where I might be in about 3 or 4 days' time, and just have them sent to the post office because the post offices do something called post restante, where they'll hold your mail for you or any parcel for up to 7 days before returning it to wherever it came from. So I just do that. It's easy. It got on a post office. This one was, well, I could have actually, if I had moored down the other side of the locks, literally, it's a 300-yard walk. But because where I moored, and I just decided to walk to it, it's a mile or so walk. Wow. Yes, boats have fridges. My boat has a fridge. Hey, Gary, nice to see you. How are you doing? Is more the point. Mind you, I've been through everything you've been through as well. So in the past, so I know exactly how you've been feeling. But yeah, nice to see you here, Gary. Yeah, this is nearly coming up to 2 hours now, and I'm still rabbiting on. You know, you put up with me for so long, guys. And not only are you putting up with me, I've got more people watching now than I was having watching an hour and a half ago. I haven't met Sean and Colin or David actually, although I have seen Sean and Colin's boat. It was moored up and it was all locked up by the looks, and they weren't around when I saw their boat. I've met Pat and Eileen from Narrowboat Experience. Oh no, Narrowboat Quest. I spoke to them. I met them in rugby. Who else have I met or seen on the cup? I've seen a couple of other people on the cup going past. I can't think of their names now. From Boat and Beyond, Matt and Ali, isn't it? From Boat and Beyond, they were going past me one night. They were going to where they are now to get their boat fixed, and they were in a bit of a hurry. Yeah, but I met a few people, and I say hi to them all, and of course I say hi to and say hi for from everybody. Of course, it's for 2,000 miles of canal. It's amazing how many people you do bump into that that are other boaters, boat vloggers. It's amazing how many people actually recognise me on the canal on the cut these days as well. I can't believe it. Just a couple of days ago, I was walking down to Hatton Flights, down to the locks. I was moored up, as I say, about I don't know, say 500 yards up past the top lock, and I walked down to have a walk, as you do. And I was walking around, and I walked down towards the little cafe there, which is down after the first lock. And I was just walking along, minding my own business, sort of thing, trying to stay away from people. And someone goes, "It is you, isn't it? It is." Oh, sorry, you're Trevor, aren't you? You're Trev. Trev's Travels. Yeah. Oh, we watch all your videos. We love them. So obviously, it's people do get to recognise you when you're out and about. And I met when I was in Paisley, I bumped into a couple of people that knew me. It is difficult, Gary, and I know what it's like. I've been married twice and divorced twice, so I know what it's like. And the second time, I didn't see it coming. Never even realised there was a problem in our marriage. And by the way, I have no qualms about people chatting between themselves in live chat. I know some people do. Me, if you know people in there and you can chat, it's a great place to meet and chat. Why is it called live chat? Otherwise, people should chat. It's a social place to be. So if everybody carries on chatting between, hello, Melissa, nice to see you on board tonight, Melissa. They're over 80 now doing YouTube. Wow. If Sasha's been recognised again, yes, I've been divorced well, separated rather than divorced probably for 9 years now. and divorce was 7.5. So I'm well past it and over it. Yeah, it's a hard one when it first happens. It's a hard one. My first marriage, I was probably glad to get rid of, but the second one was a hard one. I did start off with a pint of water. Well, I say a pint. For my American friends watching, I started off with a pint of water. For my English friends watching, it's 16 ounces. So you see the glass there. You can read that. It says "Old Man Grumpy," so it fits me perfectly. People tell me, and it's from Silent Brewing, Chicago. I brought it back from the States with me. Me, I won't marry again. I don't think. Well, I said that last time, mind you. I lived in America for 15 years. I went out there in 2005 and came back January this year. It was just short of 15 years because I went out in the April and came back in the January. So it's 14 years, 9 months. But yeah, I always said, well, what, my 20s, the first time, and I was talking earlier on about the Britannia, Maybee, and it's a 40-foot Springer. I know people have a lot of things to say about Springers, but it was still a great place to have some fun on. And I have nothing against Springers. I think they're. I don't know why people are so hard on them. Oh, see, Kyle's still listening. He knows all about the beers from there. As I said earlier, Kyle and I were perhaps a little bit of drinking buddies. We've been to a few places, a few breweries together, shall we say? Yeah, one pint's 20 ounces. I said an American pint, which is 16 ounces. It's an American pint glass. See, not everything's bigger in America. Yes, Sasha, I believe that. I totally agree with you. I don't know why they get such a bad rap. They made boating affordable for so many people who are unbelievable. Yeah, I don't know. Old Man Grumpy, well, of course, I don't have any of the beer, but I did bring the glass back with me because I thought sometimes I can be an old man grumpy. Not very often, but I do get grumpy sometimes. You're right there, Gary, and it doesn't matter how old or what your boat looks like, or how new and how great your boat looks like. It's the people that are on them. It really is. And this is an old boat. This is 34 years old. This boat, but I love it. It does me a treat perfectly. It's if I'd been looking for something newer, I couldn't have afforded a 60-foot boat. That was a certainty. I forgot all about you. Of course, it was the Springer as well, Sasha, isn't it? Of course it is. It is, Gary. It's the community, and you know, you back me up here all the way. I'm pretty sure, and anybody else that's a narrowboater, you're more up in people, and you have someone come out of the boat, and they'll always talk to you, and it doesn't matter how they're living or whatever. They're always they're community people. They just are community people. It's very rare to find somebody that's really isn't. Well, thank you, Dean, and thank you for everything you do for me as well. Thank you for your Patreon support. I will still keep doing the videos. Yes, I got to do Saturdays yet. I still haven't edited Saturday's video, and I think it's one that Ruben would be waiting for because it should. It's the trip we did from Birmingham to Bourneville is going to be Saturday's video once I get round to editing it. So I'm going to have to sit in the boat tomorrow. Or if I go to Tesco's, I have to put off Tesco's probably to the next day. Stay safe, Dean, definitely. From me as well and everybody else. I'm pretty sure we all think the same for everybody. No, you wouldn't, Gary. What did you get? I can totally go there because I fortunately when I broke up my last marriage, or my last marriage broke up, my next door neighbour, Joe and Deneen, were great friends to me. They helped me through it big time. We'd go round their place, cook out, come round my place, cook out, and if it hadn't been for them, and as I say, I was in a strange country, really, although I have lived there at the time for about 7 or 8 years. It would have been weird, and it wasn't easy. And I was ready to just walk away from the house and come back to England at the time, just say sod a lot of it and just go. But I stuck it out. I ended up with the house. There was the house at the time was in negative equity, and I ended up by saying, I'll take the house on, and obviously it was pointless trying to sell it because we both owed money on it. Unfortunately, by the time I got to come back now, the house had become enough to, after I paid off X amount on the mortgage, of course, over those years, and the house had got back up to basically what I paid for it. So I actually managed to get enough money to put together with some other savings I put together to buy the boat. Talking about curry, that's what I had for lunch or dinner tonight. I made curry today. I I got up this morning and I went to the fridge and I thought, I've got some chicken thighs there. What should I make? I'll make a chicken curry. And I looked around and I thought, I've got a few potatoes, I've got a couple of carrots, I've got some onions. I'll make a chicken and vegetable curry. So that's what I made. And then, of course, it got to 1,000,000 degrees in the boats, but I still had curry. I didn't actually even know you was ever married, Sasha. the the curry that I made a little bit on the hot side as well. So yeah, glasses are steaming up. Must be moist air in here or something. I guess where that thunderstorm came through earlier. It's still very humid outside now. There's some damp air around. That's better. I can read again. Ah, yes. I do like a good curry. I must admit, I'm into a good curry, and I can make them always. I the one I did today was more of a bolty style with a lot of tomato puree in it, and that's well, it wasn't tomato puree. I use those Italian boxes where they call over a Passenda or something. Passanta. I can't remember now whatever it's called. I put one of those in, and yeah, and it's. But I had half of one of my very very hot chilies in there, dried chilies. It was a scorpion, half a scorpion pepper in there, ground up, which did give it a bit of a kick. Although those peppers are 2 years old now, they're still warm. So yeah, so it's tasty though, it's definitely tasty, and I like a good curry occasionally. Actually, on a hot day, it's a good time to eat a curry. It sort of helps sweat it all out and makes you feel good. Yeah, that's probably because I'm sweating a bit. It's definitely warm and still warm in here. I can feel I'm still sticky. I feel it all over my cheeks as well, sweating. Uh, Definitely warm. It's That's anything about boats. Although I do believe there are a couple of boats out there with air conditioning. It's really they're very hard to run air conditioning on the boats unless you basically cover your whole boat with solar panels. I just please to say things like have a nice cold beer which is cooled by the sun. It sounds good, doesn't it? If I've been moored up all day and I haven't moved the boat, and the fridge is icy cold, and the only way it's getting cold is because the solar panels doing its job. Yeah, sort of gets brow. Yeah, the scorpion pepper did bite a little bit. It was they're tasty. I normally actually don't use them neat. What I normally do with all my hot peppers, I normally grind them all up together and mix them up and make my own chili powder. Well, today I happened to pick up some reason. Can't remember well. I was in the cupboard where I got all my dried spices, and I get something out. I thought, oh, I got some. I forgot I got a bag full of dried chilies still in here. And I picked it up. I thought, oh, I still got some of the scorpion peppers. So I took half of one. It's only half of one, by the way, dried, and they're not particularly that big. Those peppers. And I threw it in the spice grinder along with uh, the coriander seeds and the cumin seeds and what else I put in there? Some fenugreek and some allspice and I've already made the garam masala that's already powder form and the turmeric was powder form. Put it all together and made the curry. Of course, some salt and pepper went in there as well. The only thing I didn't have in there, which I'd normally put in there, would be a couple of cloves. I didn't have any cloves and I haven't got any cloves at the moment for some reason. I've run out. I did throw a couple of bay leaves in. Yes, unfortunately, a lot of us on the cut, I think, have been in a similar situation at one point in time. Cloves are actually they're actually are old-fashioned remedy. Cloves. That's why even some of the old cough sweets contain cloves. They're still. I like cloves where in America where not coriander. Cinnamon is used a lot for spicing things up, like apple pie. Now, I really struggle with cinnamon. It's not I never use it. I did actually throw a small piece of cinnamon in in my curry today, small stick. But cloves in apple pie, put a couple of cloves in the apple when you cook the apple. much prefer that over cinnamon. Cinnamon to me is just I just struggle with cinnamon. I just don't know why it is. I use it as a background flavor in a curry though, where I won't taste it. If I use it as a flavor, and I just can't eat it. Yes, yes, it is. Well, chew on a clove was what my grandmother used to say. Got toothache, chew on a clove. I use herbs in cooking a lot, so I get lots of herbs in me. There's my herb garden on the back deck gets used. It's not a herb garden for show. Mine gets used. Getting cramp. Put it back around the other side of the leg. Yes, yes, Gary. Whiskey is good. Really, I didn't know about sunburn and cloves. Ah, wrong cloves. I guess it. Sorry, Lewis. I was a bit slow there. TH rather than a V. Okay. Yes, it's actually the amount of people that go past me are either walking or on other boats, and they go, "Wow, look at your herbs! They look so well." Well, all I do is water them. I don't really do much to them. And all I just when I bought them, I just went into Tesco's and they sell the little pots of growing plants. You know, where the little ones, about so big round. And I just bought those for I think they had them on special offer actually when I bought them. They were 99p each, and I just bought those and planted them, and that's where all my basically they had them on special offer actually when I bought them. They were 99p each, and I just bought those and planted them, and that's where all my basically most of my herb garden came from. And the rosemary that I bought like that now is a bush. It's the rosemary is now like I don't know this sort of tall. It gets cut all the time and right bushy round. So there's let's just find some more water. I'll be right back. I'll find some more water. Right. Which is in the refrigerator, of course, keeping cold. Bottled water. Which has been called by the sun, of course, today. Lots and lots and lots of energy today. Hmm. Oh, that's cold. Sherry would probably be one of the worst things because sherry, well, it depends. It was a good dry sherry, I guess, and there was a sweet sherry. I thought it would make toothache worse. Headache, toeache, and yeah, I get it now. Oh, welcome, Fred. What happened to the boat? I can go for it again. This bit, the T-bar, is supposed to be attached to the bow of my boat. I got hit by another boat about it was about 2 weeks ago now. Hit me so hard, the rope didn't break, the chain didn't break that was attached to the armco. The T-bar popped off the weld, and unfortunately, at the time, I didn't realise it was as bad damage as it was. Well, I was actually in the bathroom at the time doing my business early in the morning. It's before 7 o'clock in the morning. It probably happened, and I ran out to the back deck after I got, and the boat was disappearing around the corner. And I thought no more of it. I thought, well, I'm not going to chase them up the canal, hit my boat. It wasn't until about 20 minutes later I realised that the boat was drifting across the canal. So I went out the front deck because I hadn't realised, and that was laying. Well, it wasn't actually. It was actually in the canal, but the rope was still attached to it. And of course, the other end of the rope was attached to the Armco still, so I dragged it out. So that's what the it was all about tonight, Fred. To start off with was me, and I was asking people places that they could recommend or somewhere they might know to getting it fixed. I'm on the Grand Union Canal at the moment at Warwick, and I haven't been down this way for such a long time. So well over 20 years ago, I came down up or went up the Grand Union Canal. I couldn't think of the name of any of the boat yards, and when I did go into, which was well, it was on the North Stratford actually, they couldn't look at it for a week or so. They said, "Oh, probably about 10 days we might get it fixed. Better give it a couple of weeks." And I said, "Well, I'm not hanging around 2 weeks just to I'll get that welded on." So hence I'm still without it being welded on. But I've been given Cal Cup boats, and I shall give them a call in the morning. And I've had some very generous people watching tonight. Have gone to Super Chat and made some donations towards getting it welded. So that's absolutely fantastic. I appreciate every bit of help everybody has given me tonight. Yes, I think we got into the why people drink here a bit, haven't we? Well, I don't know if it's particularly was a bad weld. Obviously, there's not that much of a weld to these. They're only ring welded around. It's just a rim. But one wouldn't expect it to be. It's been on there for 34 years, I'm imagining, because the boat's 34 years old. There's no sign of it ever having done it before. So I'm thinking it's probably not really a structural failure. It's just the way it's probably the shock. It's probably the way it hit and the shock. I'm guessing because the boat was jerked backwards at the same time as the rope pulling the other way. It was just the shock factor made it pop off. I'm guessing. Yes, my wife's yeah, my last wife. She said she didn't drink until she met me. I have had one rude boater, and that actually was just a couple of days ago on the Hatton flight, and I sort of let it pass a bit. Um, the main reason I let it sort of pass, it was 90 odd degrees in the sun, and it was halfway down. No, they were coming up, and it was halfway up the flight of locks. And I think the weather and the heat and everything, and doing all those locks, everybody gets a bit afraid at times. So I did let it go, but they were a bit rude. Yes, yes, the boat's fine. I was fine. Just certainly helped me along my way on my business in the morning. But besides that, I'm all fine. And as I say, it can be welded back on. It's a lot of worse things could have happened. There's a couple of little dents in the front of the boat where it hit, but it's you know the boat's got dents anyway. It's 34 years old and it's an ex-hire boat, so you can imagine it's been through the wars. Um, I can't believe an ex-hire boat has never been hit a few times before. No, it shouldn't do. Probably come apart, but uh, what can I say? It did, and I'm just assuming it's got to be a double shock factor. One pulling one way, the boat rope pulling one way, and the boat being pushed the other way, and it has been quite a jerk. And I think that's why it is. They're designed, most welds. welds aren't particularly that strong a way of joining metals together sometimes in small areas. Actually, some glues these days are actually stronger than some welds because you can cover a larger surface. I actually did think about buying that metal glue and actually putting it back on with that metal glue, but I am going to get it welded. The I did back in my college days. I did a lot of things on stress and stress factors and all that sort of thing, and it's amazing how something that's very, very strong can actually break quite quickly under a certain stress load, especially when it's being forced in two directions at the same time. And I think that's what the cause of that was. So, I'll catch up here. Yeah. Yes, Gary, I do enjoy vlogging. Um, I it's a twofold thing with me for the vlogs. It's it's keeping a record of what I do for myself, and as long as somebody else wants to watch it and enjoy it, I'm more than happy to share with everybody. Obviously, there's things you don't share. You know, there's certain things I don't put online that I do, but the general thing, and the other thing is, as people would know by now, know how I am. I try and tell you exactly as it is. I don't try and pretty things up. I don't. I'm not one for writing speeches or writing what we call it scripts. I try and give it to you as it comes out. So I may, yes, I cut things out sometimes because when I'm going, when I say something, sometimes I might say the wrong word and I'll re-say it, but I only said it wrongly because I wasn't, you know, you get ahead of yourself sometimes in thoughts, and the wrong words come out, and I'll re-say something sometimes. But some things I do, you can't take twice because it's a one-off hit. So you know, if it comes out slightly wrong, that's how it's going to come out. Yes, Kyle. Did you notice I put a Black Hawks on again today? I've been wearing a few Black Hawks shirts in the last couple of vlogs. I sort of pushing them out there a bit for a couple of videos. Anyway, really nice for you to join me, Kyle, and hope you do again sometime. And I'm going to, if I do any more live vlogs, and people have asked me to, so I probably will. They will be probably on a Monday because it seems like a Monday night is a night nobody else does live vlogs on. Well, thank you very much, Melissa. That is absolutely fantastic. Thank you. Yes, disasters are obviously something you really want to avoid. But yeah, say what was I saying? Um, uh, Forgot where I was. Anyway, hey, it doesn't matter, was it? As I probably said it again already. Uh, Aussie. You're only tourists. Yeah, I get told that there's been a couple of times, not so much abuse. People go to me, you go. I had it coming down. I was coming down. Lapworth locks the other day, and there's 20 odd locks in a row. You come down there. They're all single locks, so you can't pair up with somebody. And the boat behind me kept catching me up, and he said to me, "Why don't you let us go through first? Because we're faster than you." And I said, "No, that's not going to happen." And they looked at me and said, "Well, we're a lot faster than you." I said, "Well, I'm going down and all the locks are set in my favour. You are maybe faster than me, but it's a lot quicker for you with four people on board or five people on board or whatever they had. They had four people doing the locks and someone steering to actually reset the locks and everything. you want me to go in and up and down the ladders and in and out and take twice as long as it's taken me now. But there's boats coming up, and all the locks are set for me. I'm not going to let you go in front of me. So, so they did get a bit shirty over that. But as for anything really else, it didn't really matter. Oh yes, yes. Thanks, Kyle. You see, someone was listening. Yeah, what I try to do is what in my videos is what I see is what I do and what you get, and I'm trying to sort of put things together that it's not going to be perfectly polished. It's not the way I'm trying to do them. I don't want you thinking, oh, that's not how it is really. If I point the camera at something. Now I have done a few voiceovers recently. It's something I never did at all at one point in time. But if it's been a windy day and the sound quality is poor, I'm trying to bring you a better sound quality. But what I have been doing on a lot of these voiceovers, I will listen to what I've actually said in the video, and I say I don't script things, but it's not really scripting. I'll make a note of what I've actually said, and then I'll repeat it as a voiceover. So it's not exactly script. I'm just repeating it so it'll be clearer when I record to a microphone on the laptop, rather than just just the way it is. So it may be a voiceover, but it's a voiceover of what I actually really said the first time around. I try to do that. Oh, Richard, getting lost behind here now. 22 Ashby Canal's not 22 miles long, is it? I thought it was only 7 miles long, the Ashby. That's You can actually go along anyway. As the Ashby Canal originally was designed to go all the way across to the Saw navigation, I believe, at one point in time. It doesn't even go to Ashby, but like the Basingstoke Canal doesn't go to Basingstoke anymore. I don't mind the locks, and I say I lock I lock single-handedly all the time, especially down the single locks. And you, the thing about locks is, and I'm pretty sure Gary will go along with this with me, doing locks single-handed. You don't rush. Never be in a hurry. You actually you can't really make them go any faster. So running up and down the lock ladder or along the locks and all that sort of thing, what are you going to save? 3 or 4 seconds? The lock will fill and empty as fast as the lock will fill and empty. It doesn't matter how fast you move, you know. So really, really and truly, I think you got to put things in perspective when you're in a boat. Number one, they don't move very fast anyway. Well, mine certainly doesn't. Not when I'm driving. You'll be lucky to get 3 miles an hour out of me, probably two most of the time. And so they're slow flowing and operating. You can't, you might be able to save a few seconds, and that's all. And it's just pointless, absolutely pointless. I tell people if they're in a hurry, why the hell are you on a narrowboat? It's, buy a speedboat. Yeah, and I get that as well, Gary. Um, as I tell people, what you see is what you get with me. You know, I have no qualms to tell people exactly the same. Well, it's like these live chats. This is me, you know, and it's the same as I chat probably on the videos to a degree. Okay, on the videos, I'm trying to think of something and say it in a specific order to make sense. But besides that, it's what I'm thinking, and I just tell you what I'm thinking at the time most of the time. Yeah, yeah, that's all locks are. Just take your time, think about it, and yeah, Yeah, but the Ashby Della Zouche I didn't think was that long. There's no locks on it, but I think the navigable part is only 7 miles or something. There are no locks down there. You're right. There's a tunnel. I was going to go down the Ashby on, oh, this would have been 2 months ago now when I came past, and I didn't because Sasha said to me she wanted to come and help me do some locks. So I I came straight past the Ashby Canal after I was going to go down there for a week or so and mess around, and went up to Atherstone, yeah, was it Atherstone flight, where I met Sasha and she helped me down the flight, which was fantastic help. We actually had a great day out. She did a video on it, and I did the video on it. Well, most of my video ended up by not coming out, and I think this is where I found out my GoPro doesn't like the heat, so that's why it didn't work above the stove when I do cooking videos. And I left it sitting on top of the my hatch, and my hatch is black, and I think it overheated and wrecked all the wrecked the lot. There's nothing there to. You could see the files, you just couldn't download anything. Yes, Gary seems to be the sort of person like me. What you see is what you get. Yeah, it's just trying to put. Yeah, you are Gary. You're the sort of person that you can. This is the way you come over straight away. You know, I you can pick out the fakes quite easily, and there's a few people out there. Okay, they do great scripted videos, and I'm not going to take anything away from them. They do some real great scripted videos, but I don't think it's them. But don't get me wrong, the way they produce their videos and put them out there, some of the people out there are doing great videos, and I would never take that away. It's absolutely brilliant. But I don't think it's really them what you see, which is a little bit different sometimes. And you and I and Sasha and a few others out there, and definitely what you see is what you get. And I know that with Sasha because when she was with me doing the locks, uh, we just hit it off straight away doing the locks together because didn't have a problem. What we see was what you get, you know. Robbie was another one. Yeah, I was trying to think of Robbie as well. Yeah, I think what you see is what you get with Robbie as well. You know, but you know, he put some great videos together. Robbie does, and so you know, I know mine can be a bit rough around the edges, and I'm no expert at this editing lark. I can assure you, I learn something new nearly every time I do a video. Actually, I try to learn something new all the time. So I'm starting to learn the software a bit better, but there's so much in these softwares. You know, in the editing software, it's a job to learn everything because, of course, it doesn't come with a manual. Um, there are videos on YouTube on my software. There's certain specific parts I want to learn. I will go and watch that video. But sometimes then you realize I've watched the video and then I can't do it on the actual software. And the reason being is the video's 3 years old and my software's, well, I upgraded it a few months ago. So it's one of their latest releases and it's different. So it doesn't go and watching the videos just doesn't work anyway. So it's a bit of a hit and miss effect sometimes trying to learn how to use the software I'm finding. Yes, I think everybody on chat knows you, Gary. I think you're well known out there on the. I think everybody that knows me knows you. And Narrowboat Girl's there. That she knows you, of course. She knows everybody. He's got a good following. Emma has a very good following, and I can always remember Emma's name because I have a daughter called Emma. I'm not very good at names sometimes, I must admit. Well, let's hope you can carry on, Gary, with everything that's you know, you and the boat go together. Let's hope it all carries on. Yes, and hi Fiona, of course. I'm assuming if Emma's watching, Fiona's not far behind. Huh, there's a lot of Emmas out there. Hello, Bob from Michigan. Nice place of the world. Tabber Hill Winery. Hmm. Round Barn Winery. Never been there. Don't know what I'm talking about. Yes, of course I have. I've been to Michigan a few times. Yes, Emma and Fiona have a boatload of dogs as well. I don't know how they get manage to move around on there sometimes with 5 dogs. I've got a 60-foot boat and I can't get around myself sometimes. So what's the weather like in Michigan, Bob? It's been very hot here today. I think of all of Emma's got teddy bear. I can't remember all your dogs' names now, Emma. Yeah, I think most of us boat vloggers as well watch each other's vlogs as well. Um, I mean, sometimes although I think just about all of our styles are different, which is great because it gives you a different thing to watch. I think most. Oh, there you go. Teddy Bear, Podge, Peaky, Susie, and Angel. I couldn't remember I remember Teddy Bear for some reason. I couldn't remember the rest. Yeah, so I think most of us watch other people's vlogs. I do get behind on some sometimes, and it's not because I don't want to watch them. It's because sometimes I just don't have good enough internet, and that's why I've been moored here a couple of days before. When I was here on Saturday, I knew I had good internet. So that's why I knew I could do a live stream with no problems at all. A few places I've been moored up. The internet comes in and out all the time, and so I just would never attempt to do a live stream. I did a test here, and the upload speed here didn't drop below 12 megabytes per second. So I knew I was going to be fine for uploading a video or doing the video, and the download was over 30 megabytes per second. So I knew I'd have a good, should have a good chance to do a live stream. Okay, the last live stream I did uh, when I was at Bourneville, the speeds there were phenomenal. They're over 40 in each direction. Absolutely phenomenal speeds there. But this webcam I use, actually, my computer does have a 2K webcam, but you can pick the number of pixels you want it to use. And I drop it down to 720 just in case there's a little bit of a, you know, poor hit on the internet at any point in time. But I'd use it at 720 is what it is recording at the moment. And for a live stream, I think that's pretty good. And so I've got a couple of these lights shining towards me. They're coming from the side, so I try not to. Did put them in front of me to start off with, and I couldn't see a thing. I wouldn't have been able to read anything. I'm getting all behind again here. I remember watching Emma's videos. The first time I ever watched her video was when they were just looking at buying the boat, and she was walking down on a snowy path, I think it was, and she couldn't have been 9 or 10 years old at the time. And I'm thinking she's putting out some real good stuff here, and she's going to really become one of the stars of the future. And I hope she gets into TV or something like that in the future for filming or whatever, because she definitely has the talent for doing that, and her photography is phenomenal. I like taking photographs, but the problem I have with taking photographs is I have to these days use the camera on automatic settings all the time. If I try to look through the viewfinder or use even the screen to view it, I don't see it when it's out of focus. It looks in focus to me, and it's not until I play it back on a bigger screen like the laptop, I actually realise it's not in focus. So I have to use the autofocus these days on the camera. I've got a half decent camera. I've got a Nikon D5600, which is a half decent camera, but I'm pressing the auto all the time because I just my vision's not good enough for it anymore. Yes, she does, Gary. She does do excellent with all life challenges, but with homeschooling and everything else, it can't all be easy. Yeah, it's funny, Lewis. I have had better internet since I've been on this boat than I did the 15 years I lived in America on with AT&T. And I use all my internet is over a mobile phone, and it's with a company called Smarty, and they use what's called the Free network over here. That's the number three network, or THREE network. And I've had no problems with it at all. In some places, I get absolutely phenomenal speeds on there. I've had over 60 megabits per second on there before now, which is absolutely crazy speeds. My AT&T, I used to be lucky to get upload speeds of 1 or 2 and download speeds of 8 or 9. And I was paying for 75 gig or 75 megabytes per second, and of course they say up to, and that's their get out all the time. No, they never provide anything anywhere near it, but because they say it's up to, got no comeback on them. That used to cost me $52 a month. This cost me £20 a month. So what's that? $26 a month. Unlimited internet, unlimited phone calls, unlimited texts. I don't think I can go far wrong. And there's very few places I don't get any internet. Funny enough, I lose the phone signal normally before I lose the internet, which is quite crazy. Because I'm assuming it's all coming off the same mobile phone towers. But yeah, it's weird because I when I first got the phone, I thought, well, I'll try using the phone for the internet and see how it goes. And I've had no problems at all, really. There's a couple of places that's a little bit poor. Uploading videos, some of the cracking speeds I get sometimes, I can upload a 15-minute video in 3 or 4 minutes. So, it's crazy speeds. The last one I uploaded did take a bit longer. The internet speed there wasn't so great at Hatton. It took nearly an hour to upload a 12-minute video or whatever it was. But even back in the US, that would have taken 4 or 5 hours sometimes to upload that video. So I'm more than happy with what I'm using. Yeah, say some people are getting fantastic speeds. 180 and 80 are actually fantastic. It's funny enough, this may sound crazy, but nearly every time I check mine on the phone here, I have faster upload speeds than I have download speeds. And I don't know why. I don't know if it's just the way the network's being used, there's more people downloading stuff than uploading, so you get more available speed. I don't know. Yes, she does, Brian. Absolutely fantastic eye for photography. Some of the pictures she takes of the ducks and the swan, even the trees and butterflies and the berries on the trees, they're absolutely breathtaking photographs. You're in Rugeley. I haven't been to Rugeley for a long time. Yeah, 4 miles an hour, dear Gary. That's on a good day with wind behind you. Okay. 4 miles an hour is the speed limit. Yeah, I can't remember the last time my boat went 4 miles an hour. I do actually. It was on the River Nen. Because my boat hardly ever goes out a tick over. The problem is, I found if I'm doing voice to camera and I'm on tick over, you can still hear my voice quite clearly. If I go a bit faster, and then I start not being able to steer the boat and film at the same time. So a lot of my filming's all done at tick over. Also, gee whiz. It's 11:15, guys. Do we realise this? It's 11:15. I'm still going. 26 people still watching. Unbelievable. And it's 11:15. Wow. What? How? Wow. Yeah, that's dial up speed. Captain Slow. Somebody else might have claimed that name, but yeah, you're right there, Emma. It is hot. I've sat here still with the front doors open, back doors open, all the windows open, and I'm still aspiring, getting shiny bits as I keep getting told. Well, it's just the receding forehead. I'm 61 years old. And I still got quite a bit up there. Speeding. Don't know how to turn it off. Yeah, I throw. I must admit, that's about what we had today here, Bob, as well. What you had in Michigan. It was. I think when I looked earlier, uh, it was 31 or 32 degrees Celsius here, and I think 31 is roughly 90 degrees Fahrenheit. I mean, it's 89.6 or so, if I remember rightly from the days when I used to know both. When I was living in America, actually, I was pretty good at remembering nearly all of the translations, but I've forgotten them again now back here. You know, fortunately for Emma, because she's homeschooled, she can start her school day at 8 o'clock at night if she wants to, or if her mum lets her. It's not like having to actually physically go somewhere to do school and actually pick your own hours, can't you? To a degree, Emma. Have you, by the way, Emma, have you still, uh, YouTube still haven't let you get some chat in there, or is it by choice you don't have chat yet? No, you don't. Yeah, because it's school holidays at the moment, isn't it? It's August. Yeah, it's got to be school holidays. Isn't it last week in July to the end of the first week in September or something. You'd have to go on a narrowboat cruise if you get for your holidays. To go and do some locks. It won't allow you comments. That's crazy. Because I always, because you are 13 now, aren't you? I think. I remember. I know your birthday is very close to mine. That's why I sort of know where it is. I know you're in March and mine's in March as well. I think you're in March anyway. Otherwise, I'm completely doodally. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I understand YouTube sometimes what they do. It's quite odd because I had a survey from YouTube a few days ago, and it was about small bloggers, small channels like mine, and they were apparently they're asking questions on people that had just passed the 1,000, subscriber points, and how to improve things and what we'd like to see. And one of the biggest things I said to them, if they want small channels to grow, they got to start putting you in suggested videos. You can't grow if you don't. If you have your base of people, but if YouTube aren't helping you along by putting you into suggested videos to other people, I said, uh, yes, my birthday's in March too, Emma. Mine's the 24th of March, and I think yours is before mine, if I remember rightly. I remember seeing it and come up somewhere, or you having a birthday or something or other, and I think, oh, it's near my birthday. And anyway, I did this survey. It took about 15 minutes to do or something like that. And I actually put in there, it'd be nice, perhaps, if YouTube suggested some of the smaller channels videos sometimes. Well, I didn't expect it to do anything, and I don't know if it was because of that, but suddenly I noticed today my last two videos and they were suggested. Did it do anything? I don't know. It makes you feel good. Your mum scares off the weirdos here. Yes, she does. Emma's mum, I believe, is absolutely perfect. She checks everything. I think Emma gets all her emails and everything. Yeah, my girls are well past that stage. My girls are, I think, born in 84 and 86, so they're 36 and 34. My girls are. Yeah, you're right there, Gary. I'm 61, and I've had the odd comment that's. Well, actually, what I do is if I get any weird comments, they just get deleted. I don't even think about them. I don't even answer them. All I do is delete them. Yeah, I know the feeling sometimes, Brian. Yeah, I think my Emma's the younger of the two children. My Emma's 34. Uh, my girl's the 13th and 14th of December, 2 years apart. Yes, well, thank you very much for coming along, Emma. I really appreciate you coming, and say hi to your mum. And hopefully there was no weirdos on here tonight. I don't see any because I'll soon try and kick them off if there's anything going on that shouldn't be. Bye. Well, talk about bye. I think it's probably about time I said goodbye as well. Uh, I've been sat here now for 3 hours. Just coming up to 3 hours. I've drunk 2 pints of water, so that's going to be the bathroom tonight. Although I think I'll probably evaporate it all out through my t-shirt tonight. I can't believe that 3 hours in, I still have 27 people watching. Absolutely incredible. It's been fun to do again, and I will do another live stream somewhere. I don't know when. This was I never even thought about doing this one until 2 days ago when I moored up here. So that's how it sort of goes. And I thought, well, perhaps I'll talk to people. I've got something to talk about this time, you know. So that's why I did the live stream. But I think it's time to say goodnight to everybody. So we've just come up to the 3 hour mark here, and it's been great. Everybody coming along. I really appreciate everybody coming along. I really appreciate everybody's financial support tonight. That's absolutely fantastic. I don't know, I wasn't expecting it, and it's absolutely fantastic. And I will be doing, obviously, keeping up the videos going out, and I will try and do another live vlog somewhere. I don't like to plan them because, as I say, I don't know how the internet's going to be when I get somewhere sometimes. So it's more going to be a couple of days advance. And I will try and do it on a Monday because I think nobody else does ones on a Monday. Sasha does Thursdays, and the Foxes do, well, when it all over the place. There's Thursday last week, and it's sometimes Sunday and sometimes Saturday. So I don't know what they're doing. But there's a lot of people out there doing live streams. I don't want to clash with them. And I don't think anybody does one on a Monday night. Thank you, Gary. Thank you. So I'm not reading it here yet. Like Emma. Thanks, Gary. I try and keep it somewhat interesting. Yes, definitely look after yourself, Gary. And good night, Lewis. And good night, Fred. Yeah, sorry, Fred. Yeah, I've been going for 2 hours and 56 minutes and 40 seconds now. I think it's time to. I'm going to be going to bed very soon if I can sleep in this heat. Sleep on the roof tonight, I think. Good night, Irene. I didn't see Irene's name up there before. Good night, Irene. Good night, Paul. People's names popping up now, and they just sit there and they don't come and say hello. It'd be nice. They could come and say hello, Irene. Yeah, it's been a fun again to do. But I'm going to end it there, and I thank everybody for watching, and I'll end it as I end my video. Thank you very much for watching. Trevor out. I remember how to stop this now. End stream.